Bam, bam. All
Yeah,
that I do. All right, here we go,
it
guys.
actually is in a couple hours.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I'm about to start this. Hold on.
Who's blooping like that?
That's why I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
It's,
Someone's bleeping and blooping up a storm. Who
it's,
got Facebook
it,
open?
it's my computer, but I don't know where it's coming from.
Do you have an instant messenger open somewhere?
I have several, but
That's probably
but,
why.
but I ain't got no messages though. But it still go off.
Okay, do you have a page open where you can like watch something
That's what
or
I'm
anything
thinking,
that has a
probably.
chat?
I'm thinking probably.
Some of these like streaming sites have chats that are
Let me close.
embedded.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is it coming from?
Don't worry. Don't worry. The tab's name is Martha. You'll live. You will live. You will live, my friend. Speaking of which, yeah, we're live. We've been live for like the past minute.
Oh, hi.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the post-roast discussion of Batman v Superman. I'm joined once again by my stalwart companions, Danny D's World and Rots112. If y'all tuned in to the roast of Batman v Superman, which we did about half an hour ago, this is going to be the free-flow discussion where we're talking about a lot of things, not necessarily about the movie, but things that are affecting the DC Extended Universe as a whole. And there's a lot of things that we need to discuss that we really didn't want to put in that video because it was already approaching 2.5 hours. I think it capped off at 2 hours and 31 minutes, which is the length of Batman v Superman, surprising enough.
You can watch it side by side.
Yeah, you can use it as a commentary, and maybe it'll sync up with the scenes in the movie. Well, we know the last half, yeah.
A review as a riff. That's crazy.
Yeah, tell you what, just lay that rant over the death scene, and there you go.
Yeah, you're just watching this, and it's like, no.
You're deconstructed as you watch it. Yeah.
And people who are like, I like Batman vs Superman, and then they watch it side by side. Yo, why did you do this to me? Someone actually commented in the video. He was like, damn, I like the movie, but y'all over here spitting that facts. Oh, BvS Unchained. The Unchained discussion. And yes, this is another podcast. Y'all getting two for the price of one. We're trying to make up for the fact that we haven't been together in a while.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be doing today.
We've been seeing a counselor. We're trying to work through this.
Trying to.
It's easier said than done. I mean, after you do what you did in that film. Yeah. So like I said, this is completely free flow. Don't got to worry about anything. No structure, no script, as if we even use those. We're just going to be speaking from the heart.
What the hell is a script?
Well, ask Zack Snyder that.
He don't know either. That's why we got it.
But my snack of choice for this stream is Dannon Light and Fit Greek Yogurt Strawberry. It is 80 calories per serving, 9 carbohydrates, and 12 whopping grams of protons. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Protons?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you mean protein?
No, protons.
Oh, weird. I've got a stack of Pringles.
Pringles are good.
I have a cinnamon one and a glass of water.
That's an interesting combination.
I mean, I got to cut the sugar down.
Oh man, I've been reading Animorphs again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh my god, do you remember those books?
What?
A little bit,
Animorphs.
Yeah, we talked about that a few days ago.
Yeah, do you remember how much Axe loved cinnamon rolls?
Nah.
Like, oh my god, that guy, whenever he'd be around them at Taste, he'd like go into friggin' overdrive and demand more.
Right.
And like he actually said that he agreed to take like a part-time job at a Cinnabon cleaning tables, and he'd just eat everything that everyone left on the table.
That's not a bad idea. So I'm looking at some of the comments.
I hate Dallas Ranches for the rest of my life now.
Someone said, "I see you guys are ready for another podcast since you got that Batman prep time."
Yeah, man. Prep time ain't exclusive.
Mm-mm.
So can we gush about Civil War and how hype we are yet?
But this is a post roast on Batman v Superman. If we do that, we'll be nothing but Marvel fanboys. Will be what the reviewers say.
I don't.
We were fanboys when we say we ain't like the damn movie.
Yeah, I used to love cinnamon rolls, but I don't know. My tolerance for sugar in the past 3 years has really waned.
All right. So who got them questions? Who want to know what?
Could you imagine trying to script a whole stream? Oh my god. That'd be a nightmare.
That would be horrible.
That's like trying to make a movie as it is happening. Like, you have 3 hours to shoot
It technically could be a movie, right? I mean,
Yeah, but
2.5 hours.
yeah. For real though, anybody that wants to pick my brain, here's your chance to do it.
I do have a couple of points that we need to touch on.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, at least they are with people coming in.
To touch on something that I mentioned in the podcast, and I actually did an entire video separate. The response towards Batman versus Superman and the disconnect between the critic and the fan. Now, I've already done a video on this, so I don't need to say anything. But since y'all are on the podcast, I'm going to open up the floor to you.
I don't know what more can I say that I should have held up what I seen at the end of the last video then. Because how I really feel about it is this whole thing being critic and a fan. The critics are fans. They were fans coming up. I mean, I don't get how somebody's word can be taken just because of what they do for a living. You know? And the whole conspiracy thing, I can just say, once again, it's nothing against DC. It's something against a shitty movie because Suicide Squad has a lot of turnaround to it. I don't know, Dan, you got anything you want to add to it?
He's waiting. He's ready.
Man, always ready.
Always.
Yeah, okay, first and foremost, I'm going to get this out of the way. If you genuinely believe there was any kind of conspiracy, collusion, or attempt to organize any kind of sinking of this film by professional film critics who can go to prison for doing that, or at the very least lose their job and face a very hefty fine and never work in that industry again, y'all are stupid.
Oh.
No. Y'all are worse than stupid. Y'all are Batman stupid.
Batfleck stupid. Please differentiate.
Oh my god! There's even. They were even making memes about that, man. If there's even a 1% chance that this one is a conspiracy, we need to find these critics and destroy them. It's like, chill. You ain't gonna take one step out of your mama's basement, sit your ass down, and go back to eating your Fritos.
He's going back to eating Fritos, yo. Damn.
But oh god, no. There has been disconnect between critics and viewers. Yes, that has been a thing. But in this particular case, no. The problem with a lot of the fan ratings is that before the movie was even out, after it had only been screened in a few select screenings, there were all these ratings, well over 100,000 people claiming that they saw Batman v Superman and that it was just so amazing and incredible, and it blew Marvel right out of the water, of course. And
one movie. It's always
just one movie, man.
Now, here's the thing: there is no way that number of people could have seen that movie from early screenings alone. You had to get an invite to those. They weren't public. And all these people showing up, saying, "Oh, I saw the movie. It was amazing. It was incredible. Go see it. Go see it twice. It's easily rewatchable. Probably the most rewatchable film I've ever seen." And it's like, y'all need to chill. Seriously. And maybe consider investing in a life.
I mean, it's just something I find really funny. I mean, they keep talking about how, oh, this movie was made for the fans and only the fans will appreciate it. If we're gonna be playing this review card, right? The movie on Rotten Tomatoes has a 68% approval with a score of 3.6 out of 5. That doesn't sound like fans loved it. But like I said, y'all want to play the card when it's convenient for you. You want to play it when to show that the critics are wrong, but when you see that there are actually other fans who disliked it, and I think the box office reports are evident of that, this movie has gotten really bad word of mouth. If this was seriously a case of, oh, critics trashed the movie, but maybe it's actually good, maybe people might like it, the box office would show for it. The fact that this thing hasn't even hit $1 billion is a sign that people talk. And if they recommend a movie for people to go see it, the box office will show. If not,
well, it's like I said, the movie was so friggin' rewatchable that nobody went back to see it.
yeah, they're just, their minds were.
People had one and done. That's it.
Mm-hmm. It's all,
One
man.
And that is one of the steepest drop-offs ever for a summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
I've seen people. I could show you. There's people I've been subscribed to that was fanboying this movie to death.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was going to dominate the year. And then they reviewed the movie and they just looked destroyed. And I couldn't help but laugh, man. It's this one channel. I don't know if it's still up, but dude was die hard. No matter what Marvel did, he always made sure it ain't going to be better than BvS, though. And all that. His review, I saw it all in his face. He was just distraught. He was destroyed. He was like, man, I don't know what happened. I was like, I don't know what happened either, dude.
I don't blame some people, and this is where it's funny. I mean, the fact that you need to have people validate their credit. Okay, if you strip away the whole Marvel versus DC thing people got going on, what about the people who saw this movie as film goers, people who don't care about Batman, don't care about Superman? They were reviewing this as a film. Narratively, there are problems, major problems, which fans and critics have touched on. And it's ridiculous when you have people like Jason Momoa and fucking Ray Fisher come out there and say that, oh, if you dislike this movie, well, screw you. That's essentially what they're saying. The best person, I think, who gave the most down-to-earth answer humanly possible, and this is why he is like the I don't know the proper phrase, but Henry Cavill, in response to the critical reception for this movie, he sums it up as such. Well, everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and you're able to watch something and speak your mind about it. That's one of the great things of nowadays, like something to that degree. It would be Superman to say something that good. Like,
they robbed that man. They robbed that man.
You remember when they were posting all them memes talking about how this was going to pass up Star Wars easy?
Oh my God.
I was waiting.
Yep. It's like, for y'all who are saying that Star Wars is breaking records, wait till 3/25/2016.
And
Then we'll talk. We'll talk. Wait, somebody says, dude, they have to do that. Wait, they have to tell people to fuck off if they didn't like the movie? No, I'm not even paraphrasing when I say that. Jason Momoa told critics to fuck off if they didn't like it.
Oh, Jason Momoa and Ray Fisher were both posting memes that honestly could be considered almost threats to violence toward critics. It got bad.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers even was talking about how obviously there's a clear disconnect between film critics of today and audiences of today. And this movie and its success is reflective of that. It's funny because they said that after the first opening weekend and everything was all tallied. Then the very next week, bam, they went right through the damn floor.
They went silent. With the fact that the entire cast of DC actors have to make statements like that shows there's a problem. No, that shows that people didn't like your movie and you're throwing a hissy fit. The majority of fans didn't like the movie, and the only scale that we can use is what's available to us. A lot of them didn't. A lot of them didn't. Even the ones who did admitted it has a lot of problems. You'll be hell bent to find people who are actually fanboying this movie. I mean, yes, they're there, obviously, but the general consensus is that it just wasn't that great, even if people liked it. But
wonder if Affleck had them Gigli flashbacks.
oh,
Yeah.
hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, God. All that again. I bet he's thinking I get dragged in this shit.
It's possible, but seriously, guys, actors, yes, they're supposed to promote the movies that they're in, regardless of them being good and bad. But there's a difference between actors coming out here and telling someone to screw themselves because they didn't like the movie, and people just not saying anything. James Gunn, for example, James Gunn is very, very vocal on movies, obviously. And he's vocal on a lot of things that happen in both Marvel and DC Comics. He's not afraid to say stuff like that.
I love seeing him actually call out Marvel Comics.
Yeah, like James Gunn, he's a down-to-earth, realistic person. And someone actually asked him, well, what if there's a Marvel Universe movie that you didn't like? He simply says, oh, well, I don't say anything. That's a reasonable thing. He didn't have to tell people, listen, you have to support our movies just because. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. And the best example I want to give, since people want to play this whole Marvel DC thing, was Marvel Studios threatening critics who gave them bad reviews on the Thor films and Iron Man 2? Were they pressuring people because The Incredible Hulk almost flopped at the box office? No,
Yeah, where was Ed Norton's Twitter account posting memes talking about destroying critics?
Yeah. Like, Incredible Hulk to this day only did like 260 million. That's really, really, really low. He wasn't out there telling people to screw off. No. I don't even want to say that the misconception new fans have about these characters was caused by the New 52. I wouldn't go that far, because the New 52, not to this degree, it does not pull stuff like this. No way.
Well, here's the thing. This Joker they're putting in Suicide Squad, who seems to literally get off on torturing and killing people, that is the New 52 right there. And that is a big downside because I cannot stand New 52 Joker. He's literally the worst thing to ever happen to that character.
But I mean,
in terms of Batman and Superman, the public perception of them seems to be based primarily off Frank Miller's work.
Yeah.
And that's a problem because Frank Miller does not in any way, shape, or form get Superman at all. He barely gets a Batman half the time. And I mean, The Dark Knight Returns, great comic, but it only worked in the world it was set in. And when they tried to have him do a sequel, no. And then when they tried to have him do a normal Batman thing with all-star Batman and Robin, no. Also no.
And then we got part 3, because, you got to have a third one.
Yeah, third one with Wonder Woman's deformed ass holding a deformed ass baby.
But again, we don't read comics, so, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. We don't. No, we don't know what you're talking about, though.
I don't understand what happened to his art style, though. It used to be a lot better than that.
I was never a big fan of it, to be honest.
Well, no, I know. It's extremely stylized, and it's really not for everyone, but even back in the day, his art was better. So.
But couldn't you say that as a whole, like, things have changed? Like, we've reached the dropping off point? I mean, there's some stuff that's really good, but then the others are like, eh.
I've never been to Warren Miller's extra bulky designs. I hate.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes it's cringeworthy for me to go back and read The Dark Knight Returns, seeing Batman fight Superman and how big they are. I'm like,
bro,
come on.
Rob, you weren't with us, but Danny and I actually watched The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and Part 2. We were just sitting there laughing up a storm at the way these characters looked. Oh my, his freaking Superman's knuckles and Batman's knuckles were fucking squares, bro.
And Peter Weller, I loved the man to death. He was an amazing RoboCop and everything, but good God, he is not a voice actor.
I am the law.
That's why I say I think he was his worst when he had to be loud or had to yell. Because when he yelled, he sounded like a mermaid man. There was one word he said that sounds like, This is loud and clumsy. I'm like,
This will be a good life. A good life, I think. We got a question. Do you guys think Wonder Woman will be good? I don't care. I really don't care about Wonder Woman.
I couldn't care less at this point.
Yeah.
The DC lost me with this movie. I have no interest in anything of theirs going forward. They killed it.
Well, if they sell the rights to Marvel, I'll be interested.
They're gonna lick their wounds, and they're gonna try to when they piece together that train back, and they're gonna put it behind Wonder Woman. They're gonna try to play off the nostalgia. They're probably gonna have an in-depth interview with Linda Carter.
They're probably gonna.
I will say that it's kind of funny that they're setting this back in World War One,
right?
Because World War II was taken, I guess,
by another shield wielding hero.
Part of me, I mean, I don't care.
But I read the other day that they confirmed Affleck's cameo in it, so it may not be all the time in World War One. It may actually be at the BvS.
Part of me is thinking the way they're gonna end it is they're gonna do the movie in World War One, and then after that, it's gonna have a modern day scene where she's talking to Batman, because they're gonna do something like that.
You're gonna be telling him a story because he did ask, "Who are you? Where you been?" And all that.
It's gonna be like, what was? Oh my god! It's gonna be like Tuesdays with Maury, except this case it's gonna be Tuesdays with Bruce, and she's gonna be recounting the entire situation. Yeah, that's I mean, it'd be one thing if Gal Gadot crushed the role. I'll be like, hey, I'm interested, but I don't even care. It's there,
Yeah, I see. Hold on.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions coming through.
When do you think they will revive Superman? My personal guess, I think Superman is going to come back near the end of Justice League Part 1.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come back, but I also have a sinking feeling he may come back evil.
Yeah, well,
because Zack Snyder also said, who knows, when he'll come back or if he'll still be the same person when he does. It's like, Zack, don't you dare.
But, oh God. So they really, I mean, they messed up the death of Superman. That's done. Next big thing they can do is eventually Darkseid, but then they making it seem like they're gonna probably be doing Injustice.
Yeah, so Injustice will be a video game movie. That's why everything's so lackluster about the cinematic universe. It's literally a series of video game movies.
Yeah, they're using the Arkham game because they need to get depth, and they trying to pull it from anywhere. And it's like. And as far as how they can fix this, I think I said it before when I was talking to you guys personally. They do the Injustice storyline, and then we just follow the other universe.
Yeah,
just follow the new.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
Honestly, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see Superman alive in the very next movie. They seem to be setting up for that, and Henry Cavill's going to be in it, which of course will also make his resurrection have almost no impact either.
Yeah, exactly. He's just gonna be gone for what, 1.5 movies? It's ridiculous.
How can they make an Aquaman movie that isn't completely ridiculous and that people will want to watch? Well, they make it Water Thor, literally.
Yeah.
And since they're underwater and there's going to be more mermaids and female Atlanteans and the like, well, you just more skin, a lot more skin.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I am of the consensus that I think they could have made a really good Aquaman movie, but I don't want it in this universe. It's not even going to be good in this universe.
Oh, someone asked it.
We'll get to that later. We can save that. There's a couple of things. I want to hit the ones from the top because people have been asking a lot of questions.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Do you believe they're going to do a Flashpoint to redo their wrongs? Well, last-ditch effort, probably, but it wouldn't even make sense in this context.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you go back to? There's nothing to fix. You'd have to go back to the first movie and build from there.
Yeah.
And then it's just a waste of money.
Yeah, because literally, what's the point in watching all of these movies then if you're going to go and redo? It's ridiculous.
They got... If they reboot, they lose. Plain and simple. They know that.
Not even excited for the Batfleck solo flick. No, not if it's with this freaking psychotic Batman.
I mean, the thing that's gonna piss me off is they're gonna insult our intelligence. Is they're gonna try and have him act somewhat like the Batman we know, but like don't act like you wasn't just acting stupid the first time we saw you.
That's the thing I don't get. I mean, they're gonna have him
talking about when he didn't brand Luthor, that meant he was done
yeah,
killing.
exactly.
Nah, fuck all that. What was you about to say? I didn't cut you off. I thought Chris was about to say something.
Oh.
Well, yeah, to go back to let's see, yeah. I think I saw one about Robin. Will Robin ever be introduced to the DC universe in live action movie again?
My bad. Sorry about that. To go back to what you were saying, I want to touch on the Batfleck thing real quick. Yeah, I have no aspirations towards seeing this movie. I don't care that Ben Affleck is writing it and directing it. So what? I mean, it's still going to be this Batman. Who cares if he has creative control, especially considering how much the studio and Zack Snyder has wanked him? You know, his entire movie as a whole is going to be just so
well, to me, the fact that the head of DC Comics himself is actually coming in to co-write this movie with Ben Affleck. Really, that's all the indication you need of where they're going with this universe. They are just going to hardcore wank Batman.
Yeah.
Which doesn't surprise me.
I mean,
Jeff Johns is a Batman fan.
It's obvious. It's pretty obvious. And I won't be surprised if the big death, I mean, a lot of people throw it out, the big death is the death of Batman.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the one guy who you wouldn't at all be shocked was the one who didn't survive.
Yeah, that's going to be the big heart wrench. I mean, they just, oh, my God. You see, I enjoy Batman just as much as anybody else. But I'll be the first in line to tell you, I am so tired. I am bat burnt. I am bat burnt out. I mean, they need to give the character a chance to breathe, and they need to establish some more legs with their other characters. And they did have more legs. They had Superman. They even had Wonder Woman, but they won't give them the ball. I mean, hell, they used Superman. They used Superman to start a new universe, and then they just gave the keys to Batman.
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
All it is. And I know someone's going to say, well, it doesn't matter that Batman's building. A lot of people have started dick riding Zack Snyder and saying, well, it makes sense because you have a human building up the League and going and finding all these metahumans. Y'all don't know why the League was formed in the first place, do you? This wasn't like a Seven Samurai sort of thing. Next question. Well, actually, go back to the question you guys were answering. I'm sorry because
I'm ready to go on.
Oh, okay. Let me see. So going down the list.
Oh yeah, I have. Well, they was talking about will Robin ever be introduced in the DCU?
Okay, you want to know something?
No.
Rob, I don't mean to interrupt, but I actually want you specifically to answer this question about Robin because it ties into the Batman thing. A lot of people are thinking they're going to do Red Hood with the solo movie. And I want you, of all people, to answer this.
But will Robin ever be introduced to the DC? The thing is, I got a feeling knowing them, they're going to introduce the post-Robin personas, but I doubt we will actually have an active Robin, lead Robin. You know, it's clear and simple that the Robin that died in BvS is Jason Todd, unless they just want to just shake things up as much as they can. So it's going to be Jason Todd, which adds to an edgy story, edgy, dark, the shit they want to do. It's clear that they're going to do Red Hood one day. I'm willing to bet my hat on it. I mean, they have rumors about it. They're going to do the Red Hood because, the Red Hood provides more killing. He provides more killing. He provides more bullet play, more explosions, more mass murder. And this time, Batman ain't got to be the one to do it. Yeah, and if we're lucky, we may get a Nightwing. We'll probably never get a Tim Drake they're probably gonna jump straight to Damian. I'm willing to bet you.
I don't think we're getting a Nightwing. I think we're getting a Tombstone for Dick Grayson if we get anything.
Oh my
DC
God.
hates him for some reason.
Possibly, you're right. DC hates him, but back to my point. I think if we ever see a live action on screen Batman or Robin, it will only be Damian because Damian has the whole, he's the blood son. Damn. So we may never see Tim Drake, and if we do, it's going to be in the BS way.
And this is another thing. It brings up a problem that, again, it goes against the entire character dynamic. If this Batman is so... He has no qualms of taking people's lives. No problems with that. Yet, he's going to tell Red Hood, he's going to tell Jason Todd, no, there's a different way that this needs to be done. Really? Really?
You know what that's gonna be spun into? It's gonna go from Jason trying to tell Bruce your way doesn't work anymore to Jason resenting Bruce because he's doing what Bruce did, and now Bruce is a hypocrite.
Ugh, they're gonna do
that's
that.
the angle they're gonna try to take with that, and that's gonna be so stupid.
And again, if Batman kills in this universe, why would he not murder the Joker? Why is he still around?
Mm-hmm.
That's the point right there. I know people like to spin it as, oh, well, he just couldn't bring himself to kill the Joker. No, that goes against the entire... People don't understand why Death in the Family was so important. I mean, yeah, DC wanted to vote off to kill, Jason Todd because no one liked Jason Todd. But the story itself is very important. And it's one of the most defining character arcs for Batman because he realized that if he could have somebody who was like a literal son to him be taken away, and for him to not want to quit because he realized people still needed him, he needs to keep hope alive, that is powerful. And the fact that he couldn't kill the man who did this to him, he couldn't kill the person who just put him through so much pain and turmoil, that says a lot about Bruce. And they took that away in this movie. They cannot do that right. And that's why I don't ever want to see Jason Todd or any of the Robins done in these movies. They, like I said, they haven't earned the right. They haven't built this relationship. Are we supposed to believe things through flashbacks? Y'all, to be honest, as messed up as this sounds, and I know Danny's going to correct me, the closest thing we've had to a Red Hood style story in the sense that it's someone who's really close to the main character coming back, and you already know where I'm going with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier is going to be a better Red Hood movie than whatever DC puts out.
Yeah. They don't want and it all goes back to the grand scheme of things. They don't want to do any work in establishing. They want to just jump right into it, man. And you can do that, but you're not going to get the same results. And a lot of people keep thinking that Marvel, I'm going to go ahead and throw my Marvel input in there as well.
You fanboy?
I know, right? Drop the M word. Marvel does not have a patent on establishing movies.
Oh my God, the amount of people.
They do not have a patent on it. So I don't know why people feel that DC can't go about establishing movies in a similar way. That's normally what happens. I mean, it happens in most industries. Somebody figures out the formula, and it's most other people's chance to take it, tweak it, make it your own, and do it.
Well,
they don't.
I can actually
own continuity. Well, go ahead, man.
I can actually answer that. They think that by DC essentially doing what Marvel did, they're by default admitting that Marvel are the real trailblazers. Marvel figured it out before they did. Therefore, they are actually admitting Marvel is superior and that they figured out how to do it before DC did it. The reason that this has to be successful for them, the reason this universe has to be, is because they kept insisting that DC was going to be able to do in one movie what Marvel took like 8 to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that this was going to prove that Marvel doesn't have the perfect framework for doing this kind of cinematic universe. And it's kind of blowing up in their faces right now, and they're mad.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because everyone likes, because you guys heard this more than anything, there are different ways that you can establish a universe. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me see how BvS does it. Movie comes out. Obviously, that's not the way to do it. But guys, when we say we want them to take their time with these movies, we're not talking about a movie for every single member of the Justice League. Heck, what they wanted to do, if they felt they needed to do this, they could have done a movie for Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. They could have introduced each of the League members throughout those films. And then when we get a Justice League movie, oh my god, we know about everybody.
Yep.
And it would only take, what, maybe 3-4 years if you're patient? And you don't even have to do that. You can put 2 films out a year, start. If they time this right, we could have had Man of Steel. We could have had a sequel to that. We could have had a Batman film, Wonder Woman, and then that year we could have Justice League. Like, this shit could have worked.
It really could have. It's not like it was impossible. And they need to stop worrying about. Honestly, as hard as it may seem, they actually need to stop worrying about what Marvel is doing.
Yes.
And run their plan through. Yes, they have a handicap. Well, you know, they got started 8 years ago.
Yeah.
You need to start yourself and not be so, oh man, we got to do this, and this before they do this, or this doing this, so we need no. Run your game plan.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't think anybody would have mind waiting if we got legitimately good movies. Like, I know a lot of people like to point to the fact that, well, they tried it with Green Lantern and didn't work. Green Lantern sucked because Green Lantern sucked.
It was a bad movie.
I'd just like to interject real quick here.
Go for it.
This rush job, though, this mentality of we have to do it before Marvel does it, that's why we're getting Darkseid in the Justice League movie.
Yeah.
After, you know, with Marvel doing Thanos coming to Earth in Infinity War, and of course, they're coming out, I believe, around the same time. No, in fact,
Justice League comes out 2017.
Yeah. See, they had to get it done first. When it came to the Atom in their TV universe, as Rob pointed out, when Ant-Man was coming out, they had to get that trailer out showing that the Atom discovered how to shrink first, and now. This is sort of a spoiler regarding Civil War, but the toys kind of already spoiled it. Once it came out, the Giant Man was probably going to be a thing in Civil War. Suddenly, they got to show the Atom in a trailer for Legends of Tomorrow, figuring out how to get huge. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't explain how they figured this out or anything like that. It just happens, and then. There you go. It's like there's this constant need to try to make it look like they had that idea first. They were planning to do this all along, and Marvel copied them.
It's also
it's sort of like how when Civil War was being filmed. You know, it was being filmed. We were getting stuff for Civil War clips, trailers, everything before we got much for BvS at all. And yet they're already trying to frame it like Civil War ripped off Batman to be Superman because it explores similar themes.
Funny enough, Batman vs. Superman doesn't even answer the damn question of the movie. Do we need Superman? Nope. Never got that answered. Oh, this is funny. Someone brought up a parallel. In the 1970s, here it is, hold on. In the 1970s Superman movie, he actually rescues a cat from a tree for a little girl. It was silly and comic booky, but it worked. Snyder's Superman would murder the cat and the girl. No. He would rescue the girl and the cat, but a building would fall on them, and then Batman would want to kill him. There you go.
There you go.
You know, there's a famous Superman comic panel that goes around. I forgot which issue it's
American
from.
Alien? Oh, I thought you were talking about like new Superman stuff. Sorry.
The panel that always goes around, it shows the little girl. She was getting ready to commit suicide. She was about to step off the building.
Oh.
And Superman lands behind her and talks her out of it. And then she just randomly hugs him so tight. And then when she let go from hugging him, she was on the ground already. Mm-hmm. Superman, scenes like that that's what Superman is.
Yeah, there's that and Batman. Batman's had similar when he met a little boy who had been orphaned by a supervillain and actually just spent the whole night sitting there with him, you know, talking to him and letting him lean on him while he cried and, you know, telling him, I know that feeling that happened to me too.
Yeah.
And it's These guys are heroes. That they don't just go stop things. They have an impact on people's lives.
Yeah. DC needs to. It's like they need to remember that these people are still superheroes, and that's gonna be one of those things where I know people try to say DC movies are better because they're dark or deep and all, and they're grounded. I'm like, no, they try to make them less superheroes and more. I don't know what you can call it, dude.
Edgy kids who are always in pain. I don't know.
It's something like that, and it's like there's still a superhero aspect at it, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, if you don't want to go off comics, then I can hit you with the animated series of the Justice League when Ace died, the telepath, the little girl.
All right, I
she ready to die, and Batman sat on the swing with her. Yeah, man, like.
I just want to address this real quick, though. Someone's pointing out in the chat. The Russo bros said they had a different idea for Cap 3, but when Batman v Superman was announced, they told Feige they should make it Civil War. No, that's actually not what they said at all. To be clear, the Russo brothers said they pitched the general idea of conflict arising and having to deal with the collateral damage way back when they first did Winter Soldier, shortly after that. And in phase 2, they had kind of touched on the fact that, hey, this is having an impact on people. This is causing some damage, but then you get to Civil War. And what happened was BvS was coming out, and that is when Feige came to them and said that he wanted them to run with that idea about addressing the collateral damage and everything, and it just kind of naturally evolved into Civil War. They did not have a different idea in mind. A lot of people like to think that Serpent Society thing was a real movie. It wasn't. It was a joke. And the reason they did that is because a lot of people considered them to be lame villains. I am not among them because I think they've actually had some interesting stories, and it would be cool to see them on film and how they interpret that. But no, it wasn't specifically Civil War, but the theme that's going into Civil War was something that the Russos pitched quite a while ago.
Cool. Now this is funny. I want to add on to this because someone mentioned this before. DC managed to make a movie starring Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and everybody seemed to hate it. That's the funny thing. DC has taken characters who, like, let's be honest now, they should sell themselves. A Batman movie, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And they found a way to make them so unlikable that nobody wants to see the movie. Whereas Marvel has taken C-listers, B-listers, and they've created franchises over them. Like, that's the thing people don't understand. Marvel has built up so much power within their brand that they can put out a hero that nobody in the general public, unless you are a hardcore comic fan, nobody cares about. And they can put him in a movie and have it gross $500 million.
Marvel made a movie where a sentient tree and a talking raccoon are the favorite characters. Marvel made people care about Scott Lang, and even people who knew who Ant-Man was had no idea who Scott Lang was.
Exactly.
I mean, this is, it's because they put care into it. And I have to admit that considering they had to actually completely rewrite and film Ant-Man in about a year, that was impressive.
Yeah. I mean, for what it was, like I said, they did it. But that's the thing. Like, people need to realize whenever someone says, "Oh, they'll never make a movie based off X character," not anymore. Because I wouldn't have thought we would have had a first off a Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Galaxy,
like, for real. Like, that's a powerful statement.
It'd be that good. It was really good. It wasn't just passable. It was really good.
Yeah. Marvel made a successful movie about a guy named Ant-Man. There you go. Look at the name. Ant-Man.
Man, and acknowledge the goofiness of the name in the movie.
Right? Anthony.
R.I.P. Anthony.
Yeah.
You will be missed.
But DC made a depressing nightmare movie about Superman. Yeah, it's true. Ain't that the truth?
You should never start a Superman movie off with him spearing somebody through 5 walls.
I'm pretty sure that guy's dead.
A regular person. That dude was dead. And why did he kill him? Because Lois.
Yo, Gus, bro.
Yeah,
you
but then the best part is they blame him for all the people that got shot to death because
Superman totally uses bullets. Yeah. I
didn't know that he was Frank Castle on the side. But
speaking of Frank Castle.
No, yeah.
Look at him getting his own Netflix series. Jessica Jones. Nobody knew who Jessica Jones was.
Nobody ever read that. So few people I have ever met have ever even. I mean, a lot of people haven't even read her comics, especially even after the show came out. They couldn't find them because they don't know that they were actually called Alias.
Yeah.
Alias.
And they managed to create a decent TV series out of it with the. Would you say Purple Man number 1 or number 2 for best villain?
So far,
I think number 1 because I ain't a big fan of that fucking Kingpin, bro. Like,
man,
his
don't
voice.
I don't care. He's number 2. Number 2.
But can we address the fact that Kingpin has a weird ass voice? I'm gonna talk like this, clear my fucking throat.
He do sound like his voice is like
he sound like he almost about to go into a temper tantrum. And see, look, we can critique Marvel. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck out of here.
Well, the thing is, technically speaking.
Oh my god! Don't you start.
Technically speaking, that is accurate, sir. He's a man of rage, and only Vanessa calmed him.
I don't care. His voice in the Spider-Man animated series was GOAT, bro.
Yo, that voice is still in my head to this day.
Yes. Well, that's like the dude who voiced him sounds like his name would be Roscoe or something.
I'm
gonna look that up.
I'm trying to remember who did voice him. I think it was.
I'm gonna look that up. He sounds like someone named Roscoe.
Hey, they got a compilation of Fisk and Spider-Man animated series just owning everything.
Let me see. Kingpin voice actor. Wow! His name is Roscoe.
Get out of here.
Roscoe Lee Brown.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding.
I'm not even joking. Roscoe Lee Brown. Bro.
All right. Can we just talk about the best incarnation of Superman though?
Oh, Dean Cain?
Oh yes.
Of course, man. All right, before we do that, more questions. Do I think oh, this is interesting. Do you guys think superhero movies benefit from R ratings like Deadpool, for example? No.
I think that if you go into a movie trying to hit a certain rating, thinking that that's somehow going to benefit you, then you're not really doing it to tell a story. You're doing it to try to meet a quota. If you tell the story that you need to tell, and then you let the rating fall where it will. If it happens to be a family-friendly PG thing, so be it. If it happens to be a wide appeal PG-13 thing, so be it. If it happens to fall into R rating territory, so be it. But what you do is you tell the story you need to tell with that character without compromising either. If you think you need to get a PG-13 rating, make your snips here and there. If you think that would hurt the movie too much, then don't do it. And just hit the rating and let the audience decide.
Yeah, I mean, for certain characters, like, obviously, if they're very violent, if they have a history of being violent, of course, the rating should justify that. But don't set out to hit that rating. Like, the R-rated cut for Batman versus R-rated cut for Batman versus Superman. Just think about that for a second.
The fact that there's even an R-rated Superman movie is kind of
exactly. See, that's the problem, man.
It's I don't know. I just, for certain characters, yes, but don't set out to do that. That's pretty ridiculous.
Well, even then, though, if you wanted to, say, include a character that's not so family-friendly into a show that is a bit, more family friendly or whatever. Like, for example, say you wanted the Punisher to ever show up in Spider-Man, since the two work together quite often. There actually are ways you can pull that off with the Punisher. Even though, Spider-Man's very against, just straight up murdering people. And Frank really has no qualms about straight up murdering people.
Oh, I can't wait for a series because of that.
But when they have worked together, Frank did have something that he had invented, especially for when he needed to bring a target in alive, called mercy bullets. They were kind of like rubber bullets, only they were a lot harder and they could actually still pierce the skin. And they basically hurt almost as bad as being shot, but they didn't kill you. And
that's a restraint.
That is a lot of restraint for Frank Castle.
Oh
yes.
My god. That's amazing.
And every time they worked together, he always made him use those mercy bullets, and he was like, they glare at each other for a while over it, but he'd be like, fine.
Well, action scenes benefit from being rated R. I feel like PG-13 sometimes a fight is unbelievable. Wait till Civil War. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right. I see. All this depends on the hero, though.
Yeah, like, wait, are people saying that a fight scene's limited because it's PG? Listen, unless, like I said, you're a very violent character, yeah, but Superman does not need to be rated R. Neither does Batman. Look at the way Batman fights in freaking Arkham series.
Frankly, Wolverine doesn't even need to be R-rated. Now, there are some story arcs of his that would have to be. I'm not gonna front on that. But, let's face it, never once has a complaint in the X-Men movies been a sucky Wolverine fight or an unbelievable Wolverine fight. He can stab the crap out of people without gallons of blood spattering everywhere.
That's just what people want to see, blood. Do you think superhero movies are oversaturating the industry and leaving small, good indie films in the dust like Ex Machina? Okay, first and foremost, for anyone who's blaming a superhero movie for a reason why their movie didn't do well, stop it.
If your movie has appeal, people are going to go see it.
Exactly. Like Ex Machina. People went out and saw it.
I don't know why.
If you happen to come out at the same time, you like in the train tracks of a superhero movie that's out, may have a little bit of a problem here.
Especially considering these movies are announced like 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
Like, we learned the date for freaking Civil War, or Captain America 3 at the time. We learned that thing like right after Winter Soldier. So if you're that person who's dumb enough to release it within the week prior or week after, but even so, you guys are acting like you can't see any other movie if you want to watch a superhero film. I mean, there are plenty of films that come out that people want to see, that they're different, they're targeting different audiences, and they will always have appeal. Now, to answer the first part of the question, do I think they're oversaturating? I mean, like I said, Marvel's been doing this for 8 years now, and it just hasn't stopped. They just keep on going. If anyone has the potential to oversaturate the market, it's going to be with bad movies. And
once they're good, the train can keep going.
Yeah, so long as it's good, people will be fine. But that's a very interesting question, though, because Marvel has brought that up before. They are worried sometimes that, hey, maybe people are going to get bored of these movies. Like, that's part of the reason why the Russo brothers worked very hard on Winter Soldier and Civil War, because they wanted to give people things they've never seen before. So long as you are transcending the genre and actually making these characters true to the core, people are going to see it. Winter Soldier to this day remains the best film in the entire...
So long as they don't get lazy and complacent, basically. The people won't get sick of it.
Exactly. So long as they're putting in work, the effort, and not just doing things to be different. Like, we don't need to see every year a film that's like Guardians of the Galaxy in the sense that, oh, it's going to be people we've never seen before. No, there has to be a reason why they're doing it. So that's my answer.
And it's like Marvel at least has a plan. I think the thing I kind of like that they're doing is their own way, their own versions of certain arcs, like, a Civil War, Winter Soldier. I think that's a good way of keeping your lines out there, basically.
Yeah, and that's a very good point, Speed Racer. Marvel, more than anybody, does want DC to be successful. That is true. I mean, they don't want them to be as successful, of course, but the more competition, the better. I mean, if DC was cranking out like films that are on the quality of, like, let's just say hypothetically, if they were cranking out films on the quality of Winter Soldier each and every time, Marvel's gonna have to start looking at these films. They gotta start looking at all the solo folks and say, hey, listen, you know, we can't just shoot for a film that's just okay at best, you know? Gotta make it good. Like, that competition is good. Marvel, for the past 8 years, though, they really haven't had any, so it's like, they're just...
I kind of have some hope for Thor now that Aquaman's a thing. Because, like I said, you just know he's going to be water Thor. So.
Yeah, I mean, Thor.
Well, that and, you know, Darcy's gone, and Jane's gone, and basically the driftwood that was the supporting cast that did nothing but drag the movies down is gone.
Yeah, so it'll finally be a film about Asgardians and stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna go.
And there might be Sith in this movie, and that's always a plus.
That makes you happy, but I just hope they don't try and force a... I mean, as much as I would love Thor and Sif to do their thing, in the context of this universe, him and freaking Jane were a thing, and they talked about it in other movies outside Thor, so it's like, oh, this is your new piece? Yes, this is my new piece. Finest in all the 9 realms.
Man, I just want to see Thor and Hulk beat the shit out of the Midgard serpent.
I want them to develop Hulk in this movie. I really want them to focus on that. I mean,
we've seen what the Hulk has done to the U.S. military.
Yeah. What
is he gonna do to the Asgardian army?
Yo, that movie, I love The Incredible Hulk. Such a good movie. Let's see some other questions. I'm gonna scroll up. Because we did miss some because we focused. Oh man, there's a lot of questions. Okay, here's one.
Question now.
Here's one. Spider-Man 3 or BvS?
Ooh.
Death. I choose death.
I choose. Yeah.
Oh my god. Death?
No, as much as it pains me to say it, honestly, I think I would pick Spider-Man 3 just because there's stuff in there you can legitimately laugh at. And it's something like if you were to sit there and watch that movie and riff on it the whole time, you could actually get some enjoyment out of that. But when it comes to BvS, I'm not 100% sure even doing something like that I could save it.
Yo, we about to catch so much crap for this.
Well, to be fair, though, you can have fun during Spider-Man 3. You can't have fun in BvS because it takes itself so gosh darn seriously. Alright, here we go.
Jameson, if nothing else.
I don't even want to watch BvS again.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are asking us questions about other comic book films that are out. We're not really talking about those. We're just talking about things that relate to BvS and questions surrounding that. Let me see.
We'll get to that stuff later.
Yeah. Would you guys want them to merge? This is from way back when. Would you guys want them to merge the TV universe and the films? That's going to be their ultimate cop-out to try to get butts in seats. I guarantee you, if the Flash movie flops, they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I would, but based on what they're doing in that series now, I'm not 100% sure that it's going to work the way they want.
Well, you know they care more about the actors, so they'll bring in Grant. He'll be like, hey guys, it's pretty dark over here in Earth 3.
I mean, they're going to have Grant fix everything because Mr. Dirty Diana Flash can't handle it.
Nope.
I'm sorry. I can't get over how much he looks like Michael Jackson back then.
Bro, he does.
And when he's in that store, though, he looked like that dude that played Tobias on Animorphs. Like,
yeah,
yo,
man.
You know, it looks like, I don't know if y'all follow Michael Jackson's family, but his young son, Blanket.
I forgot his name was Blanket.
Blanket grew up.
Stop. Oh. Are you ready for Edge League Part 1 and Edge League Part 2?
No. No, I'm not. No.
Will Suicide Squad be a successful DC movie? I don't even know at this point.
It's gonna make money.
Bro, we said that about BvS.
Well, BvS did technically make money, just nowhere near what it really needed to
I mean,
justify.
the bar is a bit lower for Suicide Squad. It may get Suicide Squad may have its own happy place that it reaches. BvS ain't reached its happy place.
It's about 800 mil shy of that. Let me see.
BvS sitting right now.
Well, I don't know. I hear Jared Leto really burned through their anal bead budget.
Not even. Ugh. Do you think She-Hulk will get the live-action treatment? Who knows? Anything's possible. Maybe a Netflix series. Who knows?
It's possible, but I wouldn't bank on that.
I was about to say, is she bundled in with the Hulk as far as the whole Universal?
Yeah, it's going to depend on whether or not she's with Hulk at Universal, because that's part of the reason they can't make solo Hulk movies, and Universal, unlike Sony, is being kind of stubborn about it. Now, as for whether or not She-Hulk might show up if she's not, maybe if they run out of stuff they can do with the Hulk, they might just have Bruce kind of disappear for a while and then introduce her.
Random question of the stream. This isn't superhero related, but do you guys think there will be a Kill Bill 3?
How many more years we got left?
We got a couple.
That was always the plan, so I would think probably.
Tarantino said, he said, what, like 5-6 years ago, that in 15 years he'd make it?
Yeah, so we got time. If people are getting bored of live-action films, do you guys think that Marvel is going to release animation-style superhero movies at the theaters?
No.
Never going to happen.
I mean, well, we'll see. I mean, they're doing that animated Spider-Man thing, so.
But I mean,
we'll see how that does.
You already know.
But I mean, that's separate in the sense that they're going to be doing different things. I would love to see them go back to the traditional animation scene. That'd be
cool.
Oh yeah, that's underserved. People would actually.
Yo, I mean, the movies used to be lit back. Remember the Ultimate Avengers movie?
Yo, bro,
Yeah,
anything. Hulk versus,
that was actually decent. That was decent for a straight to DVD thing.
Yo, but Hulk versus though.
Yo, Hulk versus.
Bro, that shit. I still watch that every year or two.
Hulk versus Wolverine is the business.
Man. Wow, now well, since you mentioned competition, what do people think of AMD versus Nvidia? Oh my
god. I have no real opinion.
Since you brought Grant Gustin up, do you guys think DCEU will pull the trigger and do a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie?
No,
I don't. If they're desperate, maybe.
Maybe, but there's no realistic way they could ever pull that off.
Well, I mean, they managed to kill Superman in his second movie, bro. Nothing is considered realistic.
They pulled it off.
Yeah. Did you guys hear? Ooh, we can talk about this. This is actually one of the main focal points. Did you guys hear the rumors about James Wan potentially leaving Aquaman?
Yep. Yeah, and the Flash director already dropped out.
And there are rumors that some of the other ones they've attached might leave.
They see the writing on the wall.
To be honest, from what I've heard, it's a really taxing experience, and they don't like being told what to do. Someone actually put this best. James Wan brought himself by his bootstraps in the industry. He directed really, really low-budget horror movies, and he worked his way up. He directed the most successful Fast and the Furious film, and now he's working on Aquaman. James Wan doesn't need Aquaman. Aquaman needs James Wan. That's a powerful statement.
Yeah, that's true.
So if he leaves, good for him. He can go back to doing movies he wants to make. And if you have that much overhead, all these people breathing down your neck, like even Zack Snyder, he's getting calls daily from the studios over in California about Justice League. They were breathing down his necks because they did not expect the backlash in the box office returns. So I don't blame James Wan or the director who left Flash at all. Yeah, so there's that. And Can't wait till Zack Snyder's going to be the only director willing to do those movies. Well, I mean, at this point, he's directed 3 of them, and there are rumors that he wasn't he supposed to do part 1 and 2?
He was only supposed to do part 1, but now apparently he's rumored for part 2.
What?
Or possibly not, depending on how things go. He almost got pulled off part 1 too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way it's going there, he's going to end it. This is going to be the Zack Snyder verse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everything, man.
Which is actually kind of sad because when you think about it, Snyder had to convince himself he wanted to do this. He did not originally want to do this. He wanted to do his Man of Steel sequel.
Mm-hmm. Heck, he didn't even want to do Superman if you want to get specific. Christopher Nolan convinced him.
I can't help but that.
Can you repeat that, Danny? You kind of came in robotic sounding.
I said I can't help but think that that somewhere out there in an alternate universe, there's a Snyder who's happy because he got to do his Man of Steel sequel and then left.
I know, right? He had plans, and they told him, Man of Steel ain't make enough. Put Batman in.
Oh, I know. He was getting excited too, talking about a Brainiac and you know,
Metallo.
Eventually Darkseid and Metallo. You know, that there were all these villains that they could do. They could even try revisiting like some of the. He even joked about revisiting the Atomic Man.
Wow.
Why not?
I mean, hey, if you could do him without making him suck, why not?
You know what Zack Snyder needs to do?
What's that?
If he's going to be adapting stuff, I don't think he should be director per se. I think he needs to be like a supervisor on all action scenes. That's what I think he needs to do.
Huh.
Can you being completely real? I don't know who would direct the movie, but be real with me, Danny. Don't shut me down, Danny. Don't just say nah, Danny. All right? Because I know you're going to say it. Hypothetically speaking, in a perfect world, oh my God. In a perfect world where they made a good live-action Dragon Ball movie, I wouldn't mind him being the director for the action scenes. I wouldn't. There you go. Yeah, but actually, what's it called? I actually have to go downstairs and take the laundry out. So I'm gonna be gone for a couple minutes. If y'all want to shoot the shiz and talk with the chat, I will be right back.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Chat, you stuck with us now. Let's see here.
Do you mean Atomic Skull? No, I mean the dude from Superman 4. I think he was called Atomic Man.
He was what, he Nuclear Man?
Oh, Nuclear Man. There we go. Sorry.
right,
Same difference. Who the hell kid? That says a lot about how memorable he is.
He was basically Doomsday.
Yeah. Well, he was what they did to Doomsday and BvS anyway.
Exactly, that's what I meant.
Yeah, Kryptonian and Luthor DNA. Okay, guys, here's your opportunity to ask off-topic questions. There should be more Japanese live-action movies, and what's Ghost in the Shell? I really don't care about. I do think that some of the casting decisions have been incredibly terrible. I think that the idea of using CG to see if they can make the actors look more Asian was incredibly stupid and insensitive, provided it actually happened, of course. But overall, I just don't care. I mean, I like the 2 Ghost in the Shell movies, but everything else about it has been kind of blah. So, in terms of more Japanese live-action movies, probably not. Just because it is so rare, even in Japan, for a live-action movie based on like an animated series to pan out and actually be good. especially since you can wind up with some wacky directors who really think they need to try to push things over the top even more than they were in the anime because it's anime. Not that crap. But I mean, if they can find a director who will actually take the property seriously enough, like actually stay faithful to it, then I suppose they could. I still maintain that they could make a good Dragon Ball live action movie. I actually had one plotted out myself and everything, purely because I got sick of people telling me, if you think you can do so much better, why don't you write one yourself? So I did. I lost it a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had the beginning plotted out. I had the ending plotted out.
Do you think Assassin's Creed movie will be decent? I hope it is. Yeah. I hope it is, man, because one of these series got to catch a break. Yeah.
Death Note would be a great live action movie here soon. No. Nah. Death Note doesn't deserve a live action movie because Death Note's own fan base doesn't get Death Note. There's still people who to this day think that Light was a hero. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. What do you think of X-Men Apocalypse so far? I don't care. Jennifer Lawrence seems like she does not want to be there. I don't blame her.
She backpedaled on it because now she's saying she's excited to do more.
Well, I mean, if it pays.
Exactly, them checks, man. They making
she don't even have to try on those movies. She just has to, show up in the skin tight blue latex, and then people are going to be paying out their ass to see that movie. But let's see here. I do think it's incredibly stupid though that they're essentially not only making her a hero but the leader of the X-Men here. That's just incredibly moronic.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing that for star power, though.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they kill her off at least for a little bit, simply to make her into some kind of martyr.
Yeah.
But are you planning on doing a Civil War podcast? Yeah, we done been saying after we see that movie, we're going to be doing another stream about it. I think a stream, a podcast at the very least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We will never see a DBZ in a live action movie, and that makes me happy. Why? How would that make you happy? It can be done. Hollywood would find a way to mess it up. Not necessarily. See, that's the thing. Everyone keeps seeing Hollywood as this hive mind that will always, no matter what, find a way to make something bad. That's not the case. If you get a director and some producers who actually care about the project, you get a good writer, you can make it happen. There is not a single thing that cannot truly be adapted to film in some way, shape, or form, except, well, I mean, even some of the more obscure and risque stuff could arguably be done. It just would have to have an adults only label.
Yeah.
What's more morals, Batman, Superman, Punisher, or Deadpool? The fact that you actually put Deadpool and morals in the same.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, is he serious?
We're talking about a guy who killed people for having the quote unquote wrong opinion on movies, and who actually blew up a bus full of children as a distraction so he could run away.
Right.
Come on, this. So your Daredevil season 2 is disappointing due to the lack of a main villain, which you could. No, that's actually not why it was disappointing. The concept of the main villain was always Nobu and the Hand. It was there toward the end. I will say that in light of what did happen, a stronger villain would have made sense. But had they pulled off what they were trying to do before that, it would have been fine. But the problem is, toward the end of the whole Elektra arc, They, instead of showing that these two still just aren't compatible, they have completely different worldviews. They started taking the "oh my god, Matt is redeeming me" route, and Murdoch, who couldn't ever bear the thought of leaving his city, had a new girlfriend, had a great partner, was suddenly willing to just throw that all away for the sake of this chick, who up until recently he couldn't stand being around because of what had happened. Now, granted, he has gotten stupid around Electra before and everything, but getting that stupid and then having her get all gushy over it and let's run away together, that was incredibly stupid. That is where they dropped the ball. Between that and just having the Punisher show up, snipe 3 guys that Matt could have fought anyway, and then walk away saying "see you, Red." Like, really?
Yeah, that was.
Especially when they teased him with that minigun, it's like, why not have them complete up as the cavalry with that gun and just starts mowing down ninjas? That would have been amazing. Do you feel Doctor Strange will rip off Inception too much? Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Inception takes inspiration from the exact same thing the Doctor Strange comics do, and that's a lot of the works of Escher. When it came to like the infinity shots and the folding cities, and that's MC Escher. And Doctor Strange has taken inspiration from that for a long time. So the fact that the movie hasn't shied away from that is really more an indication that the movie is quite a faithful adaptation, even if it means that they're going to run the risk of being accused of ripping off another film, which is something that I actually applaud Derrickson for, because most filmmakers wouldn't have the guts to do that. Or the dedication. Let's see here. That bad writing for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see another Mortal Kombat live action movie. I'm all for it if they do it right. I felt Mortal Kombat Legacy was a decent direction. I wish they would have applied that to a movie. But yeah, I'm all for it.
I'm not sure Mortal Kombat would really work as a movie. Just because of the size of the cast and everything. If they could get that turned into like a Netflix series, though.
You know what? Yeah, I take that back. Netflix series.
Because a lot of stuff based on fighting games.
I have returned.
Thank you. Hi. Just due to the size of the roster and everything, the number of characters.
Oh my God, are we talking about Dragon Ball Z?
No, we're talking about fighting games being turned into movies. I don't think it works in film because, I mean, you're going to wind up skipping characters, or characters aren't going to last beyond like cameos or one fight, and then, if the right character doesn't, fit the personal tier list of whoever, people are going to get mad. And Mortal Kombat, though, and things like Street Fighter, I think, do work in a series format, which I think Street Fighter Assassin's Fist kind of showed. So, yeah, I think that could work in that format, but I'm not 100% sure on the movie.
Yeah.
You'd have to sacrifice a bit.
Let me see. Where did, wow. That's a lot of comments. Did y'all answer questions and stuff?
Yeah, we still have the, okay. Just to answer Trenton Brown here, 8 repeating questions, but how would you guys incorporate the Nolanverse into the DCU?
Ooh, Danny, go off.
Are
we going to do that now? I thought we were waiting to do that.
Unless you want to do it now. I don't know. Let's ask the chat first and see if they want it. So we'll go down some other things. Do you guys think there should be more Japanese live action films? You guys answer that?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna go all the way down. Will there be a sequel to Injustice? Yeah, you said that.
Did not see that, but yeah, I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
There will be. I think they're gonna jump back and forth between Mortal Kombat and Injustice, and maybe a different IP.
Especially if an Injustice movie thing starts going forward, you're gonna see more Injustice.
Yeah.
Are you planning to do a Civil War podcast? Yep.
Yeah, we talked about that too. Yes.
Assassin's Creed movie? We talk about that?
I'm not sure though. Were we gonna do the Civil War stream or podcast?
What's the difference?
Well, stream is live, podcast is recorded, and then.
Well, I think we're gonna start doing all these live because it's easier, you know.
All right. Well,
Who got the Jared Leto Joker laugh in the background? Do you guys think the Assassin's Creed movie will be decent? Did you answer this?
Yes, we did.
Okay, I'm trying to go all the way down. Who has more morals, Batman, Superman, or Punisher, Deadpool?
Yeah,
That's a weird question, but
it is.
Like I said, putting Deadpool and morals in the same sentence.
Let's see. I felt Daredevil season 2 was disappointing due to the lack of a main villain. Would you agree? Not necessarily. I don't think the fact that it didn't have a lead villain is what held it down. What held it down was, to be honest, a lot of the stuff dealing with Elektra.
Yep.
It was great. Like the first 4 or 5, anything with the Punisher was top tier, and then after that, it started to wane. Yeah. Do you feel Doctor Strange will rip off Inception too much? Okay, Grace Randolph, listen up.
Touched on that.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of that we did.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. So many comments. All right, everybody wants Danny to discuss that, so I think we're going to do that. Oh, thank you for all the welcome backs, everybody.
All right. Well, what you do is you do the Nolan movies, and then you do Man of Steel. Now.
So you're going to answer the question? No, I wanted to hype you up.
Yeah.
Hype you up.
Okay.
All right. Because I'm going to put this as a separate video because I think it'll be interesting. All right, so here we go. So this is actually pretty interesting because a couple of days ago, as we were getting ourselves prepared to do this Batman versus Superman podcast, we were talking about the DC extended universe as a whole. Now, obviously, it's no shock to everybody that a lot of mistakes have been made with Batman versus Superman. So we were talking about what they could logically do to attempt to fix this film. Now, we realize that that's not really something constructive, considering we don't know too much about what's going forward, and considering they did what they did in BvS, anything is game. But Danny, it's actually pretty interesting. I actually raised him a question. I was like, hey, Danny, if you could fix the DCEU in any way, how would you do it? He's like, Chris, I cannot answer that question. What I will do, though, is tell you how I would have done it from the start without having to reboot Batman. So, ladies and gentlemen, today what Danny is going to do is attempt to merge the Batman Nolanverse film with Man of Steel and how he would have set the universe going forward. So, Danny, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. So, as you know, from the get-go, they had decided that they were going to go with a veteran Batman. So, what do we have pre-existing before anything else? We have a veteran Batman, a Bruce Wayne who had been Batman for years. Now, what you have then is the fact that he's in retirement. If you keep those movies, and then you go right into Man of Steel, and you have the events of Man of Steel happen, and you see this Bruce Wayne see all that. You see him understand and realize that there are things beyond this world, that there are all kinds of new things out there, the things that aren't natural, aren't grounded, it would basically kind of blow his mind, so to speak. It would introduce him to a whole new level of things he had never even considered before. And it would be enough to coax him out of retirement because he would decide that somebody needs to be able to keep an eye on all this stuff. Now, what you do there is you got John Blake. John Blake, of course, has been training with the Batman stuff, the Batcave, etc. So he's got some skills of his own. Now, keep that in the back of your mind. Shelve it. Hold on. Bruce Wayne comes back, becomes Batman again, gets himself back in shape, goes to meet Superman. You have a meeting between Superman and Batman similar to what actually happened in the Man of Steel comic, where they start to get to know each other. And there's your first crossover film. You then introduce Wonder Woman. You can introduce everybody else normally, like you would have. But when it comes to this, you have Batman essentially into the mindset that I have to be ready for something bigger than I've ever faced before. On top of that, when you have some of his past villains come back, you can have the Joker come back crazier and wackier than ever. Now you can have, you could if Heath Ledger had still been alive, God rest his soul. have him come back all busted up, and have him come back, busted up.
Danny, do you mind repeating what you mentioned right after Heath Ledger, God rest his soul, because the connection kind of went out.
All right. Wow. You can have villains come back. Like I said, you could have it's a comic book. Bane survived somehow. He's very. There you go.
Your connection is
No.
Your connection, broski, is kind of.
I was getting all sick back, dude. Like,
yeah, I was getting all hyped up, and after you said Heath Ledger, God rest his soul, it started getting crackly and fading.
Being haunted by Heath. Help me.
He's helping you, but yeah. So his villains can come back in a very more comic booky aspect, because hey, it's a comic book movie. So
things are amplified because of the shatter, but just to help add to it.
Well, you could have Bane come back hopped up on Venom now, because without it he can't even move because of his injuries that he sustained. You could have Scarecrow come back, in full regalia, fully embracing his new persona. You could do the Riddler now, because he doesn't seem so outlandish anymore. You could do all this stuff. And when it comes to John Blake, well, obviously you can't just make him a Robin. He's a full-grown man. But, you could do something with him where he's an orphan. He has a fairly similar sounding name to someone else whose father was killed in action. You could have a certain brotherhood approach him and say, hey, we knew your father. This is what he did. This is the persona we'd like to pass on to you. And boom, you find out that his real name is actually not John Blake, but John Paul Valley. And there you got Azrael. It'd be a stretch. It wouldn't be 100% like the comics, but it would work. And you can actually have Azrael films. You can actually introduce a Dick Grayson, a Jason Todd, a Tim Drake, etc. Going down this route. There are things that they could have done. And it's just, I don't understand why they wouldn't have done this. It would have saved them so much time. It would have saved them so much money. They would have had a starting base. And they just flushed it. I mean, you could have the freaking Penguin again, for crying out loud.
That's interesting. And literally, because you always hear people say, nah, they can't mix this Batman and Superman because it's too realistic. But to be honest, I think it can work, because Batman is a real guy. Batman's human, and when he's going up against these people, he has to think, how am I going to approach this? You would bring in his detective. Like, to be honest, it makes a lot more sense than we ever thought it would.
Oh. Yo, that's legit. The reason why it sold me so well, because I was like, this would be the moment where you have to shatter that ceiling of realism.
That would have been crazy. That would have been
Batman
crazy.
Has to up his game to the highest degree.
Right. See him over there. He starts bulking up. You get a big, beefy, 220-pound Christian Bale. Then he going up.
God. I'm sorry, just the mental image of that.
That'd be crazy, bro. It'd be awesome. But Danny, round of applause, my friend, because that is fantastic. And a couple people have mentioned this before in the comment section. They're like, yo, why ain't Danny over there at Warner Brothers? He gonna fix this shit.
How will this affect the comics? Well, frankly, if the comics were good, they wouldn't be paying attention to the movies in the first place. I'm just saying.
There you go.
The comics need to be their own thing. They should not be the movies. They should not try to emulate the movies. They need to tell the stories that they are going to tell, and not constantly have to restructure themselves around the films every time a film comes out. That's a big problem with the comics. In fact, both at DC and at Marvel.
Yep. There have been many a time when I've seen Hal
I mean,
Jordan and go ahead.
they're forcing another Civil War story just because the Civil War movie's coming out. I mean,
Civil War 2.
Like the fact that there's a Civil War 2. Stop it.
The fact that they called it Civil War 2. Like,
and the fact that they have Steve, this isn't freedom, this is Peter Rogers siding on the side of preemptively punishing crime. Well, that's just stupid too.
How would you do a Green Lantern movie properly? Oh boy.
You gotta say that.
Penguin has black market mogul, just like in the comics. It would work in the Batman film. Yeah. Problem is, Danny makes too much sense, and he would make the movies too good. Can't have that. Oh boy. The first Civil War wasn't even that good. Of course, it wasn't.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. It was a character assassination for Iron Man.
Well,
yeah, it to me, Civil War had some interesting ideas, but nah.
See the thing, assassination for Iron Man.
That Taco Bell internet.
Oh my god.
Oh man, McDonald's Wi-Fi. I'm weak. McDonald's Wi-Fi ain't that bad though. I remember I used to have to go there. This is before I had Wi-Fi set in my house. We would go there to get like Pokemon related stuff. I forgot, but we needed Wi-Fi. So Neo, you ready for your boy Nightwing to be a part of the DC Edge U? No, we touched on this a bit. They're probably not gonna do Robin, and if they do him, they're not doing Nightwing, because it's been established that DC shits all over Dick Grayson. Not DC related, but who do you think will? We're not really gonna get Infinity War. Who do you think's gonna die in Infinity War? I think a lot of the old guard is gonna die in Infinity War.
You think gonna split it up?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Good.
What was I trying to answer again?
How would you do a Green Lantern movie or something about Civil War?
Oh yeah, Civil. Yeah, Tony Stark character assassination. It wasn't even that for him per se, because in the side books it was. I mean, he came off looking really bad, but when you read the main Civil War line, it was told heavily from his perspective and actually tried to make him seem very sympathetic. And I think that is why it backfired, because he was doing all this horrible stuff. And yet, at the same time, the comic tried to make him seem like a sympathetic figure who had everyone's best interests at heart.
He had some good ideas. He was misunderstood.
Yeah, it's basically Hitler had some good ideas, the comic.
And y'all think that's a joke? It ain't. Neo used to upload his videos at McDonald's. No, I didn't. I've never done a video at McDonald's. I've never uploaded a video at McDonald's. I hope we don't get an Edge Lantern and get... Oh, my God.
Oh, please.
Do you think Hank Pym will get this? You know, I'd actually love to see them do like a short film where Hank Pym and...
Short.
Sure.
Where, you know, back when Cold War, that would actually be kind of interesting.
Can I just take this time to applaud the folks, because they've used some impressive CGI and stand-ins and makeup to make Michael Douglas look really young. That was pretty cool.
That blows my mind when they do that stuff, when they make somebody young.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he almost looked like Kirk there for a second.
It's crazy, man. What's the best movie theater in New York City? I mean, at this point, just the one that has the most comfortable seats. And the one... To be honest, it's come down to the most comfortable seats, because I don't buy snacks at movie theaters, so I don't care about prices. But for me, it's most comfortable seats and the one that doesn't F up the most with the projector. Because I've had that happen a couple times.
My theater got some cheap-ass concessions.
I know. Who would I cast as Black Mask in the DCEU? Bobby Cannavale? I don't know who that is.
That's Black Mask.
I don't know who that is. I don't want Black Mask.
Red Hood.
Yeah, for real. Like, we're leading right into that.
Yeah.
Any casting questions people ask me, like, oh, who would you cast as such and such? I will respond with a hell no to the no, no. Oh, hell to the no.
Yeah. A wrong answer.
There was something else I wanted to bring up as a topic for today, but what was it? To be honest, I would not be surprised if some of those announced DC movies got pushed back. Because when you think about it, the only movie that's actually in production right now is Wonder Woman and Justice League. Everything else is fair game. So they might try to push that Batman movie up, but at the same time, according to them, Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns have full creative control, so they're probably not going to want to rush it.
That's ever
As embarrassed as they are, they don't really have a choice.
Yeah. If you cast yourself, who you whitewash? So who'd play the white version of me? I don't know. That's an interesting question. Have you guys ever fallen asleep in movie theater? I did for Pacific Rim and Oblivion. Shoot yourself. How do you fall asleep during Pacific Rim? That triggers
movie
me.
is part of You Have No Soul.
Have I fallen asleep? Yes, I've fallen asleep. Most recently, I started falling asleep during 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is really messed up because I was in an IMAX theater with 6 people, and I was over there knocked out like this for like 5 minutes of the movie. But it's that kind of the sleep where you're still awake and you're aware of what's around you, but you just close your eyes. Like, I was like knocked out. It was funny. Oh, that McDonald's Wi-Fi. When can we expect an NGS movie in the MCU? Well, I ain't saying I'm part of that Spider-Man sequel, but you know what I'm saying. Things might happen.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just trying to say I actually did fall asleep during Superman Returns.
Wait, you saw that in theaters?
Yeah, I did. I was very excited. I went there thinking it's like the biggest problem I had with a lot of the Christopher Reeve movies was just how badly dated they were and everything. And it's like, hey, this is a new one, so we're finally gonna get to see him do all this stuff, and perform all these feats with modern technology, and they'll make it look really cool, and it'll be so awesome. And then the coolest thing he did in that movie that wasn't a complete ass pull was stopping that plane. After that, nothing. And I literally fell asleep while he was sitting there whining about his life.
Someone said Noah Fleiss. That's going to be White Chris. Oh, wow, he's born in White Plains. That's like 10 minutes away from me. That looks like me.
People may hate this, but I actually fell asleep during The Dark Knight Rises.
I fell asleep during Rises twice. Well, this Noah Fleiss guy, he can't play me. He's only 5'8".
Have him borrow RDJ's hooker heels.
The real secret to being Iron Man, meeting the height requirement. Oh, man. What was I gonna say? I'm looking at some of this stuff. Neo as Miles Morales confirmed. Fuck that shit. If I ever got offered the role, I would turn that down. That is a personal problem. Could you create an Aquaman movie with a Black Panther concept? What do you mean by that? Do you mean as a person who's an isolationist? I don't care what they're doing in DC. Fell asleep during Prometheus. Well, it's very easy to fall asleep during Prometheus.
I think the director fell asleep during Prometheus.
Could be, but I fell asleep during Dark Knight Rises, like when Bane was fighting Batman for the first time, and I woke up for that squeaky toy back-breaking scene. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Still the best edit job I've ever done.
Your spirit or your body? What else have I fallen asleep? I fell asleep during Winter Soldier.
Wow.
It was my second viewing. I had gotten only 1 hour of sleep. I fell asleep just in the middle of the movie where they go and hit up Sam for cover. So yeah, fell asleep right there. When can we expect Until Noon to come out? That's funny. It's about a video game that I did not star in. Stop with these rumors, people. Even X-Men Last Stand was better than Batman v Superman. Oh God. Ew.
Oh,
ew.
I don't want to admit that.
I have. See, the thing is, I compare BvS to would I watch it again? I don't want to watch that again. I have watched X-Men Last Stand a few times.
Why? I've seen that movie twice, and that's it.
I saw that movie once, and it was enough.
If I catch it on, I happen to watch it. Like
when else have I fallen asleep in a theater? I think that's basically. Oh, during Maleficent, I fell asleep during that.
Oh God,
that's
easy to do.
Yeah, that was a trash movie.
Also, I do kind of want to apologize for my internet. We're kind of running on cave people net here because this is a small town and they don't like to update infrastructure around here if they can avoid it. So, like, if the ground gets too damp, which it has because it's been raining, the lines can get kind of staticky and fizzy, and the internet can fluctuate. So I'm very sorry.
Got you. Are you hyped for the Final Fantasy 15 movie and universe? Well, it has more continuity than BvS.
Friggin' $60 car commercial.
Mm-hmm. If you could, we were actually thinking about this. If you could cast Andrew Garfield as another superhero, who would you choose? Don't limit it by Marvel and DC.
Well,
I'd cast him as Eddie Brock, man. Yo, Danny, someone said, get out of the McDonald's Wi-Fi and go home.
I am home.
If I could cast Andrew Garfield,
young Richard Nixon.
Oh my, young Reed Richards.
You know, that actually could work, but
they ain't gonna do a young Reed Richards route again.
I hope.
Have you guys ever watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Crucial part of the MCU. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that bullshit.
Hey, no.
This is where Danny and I vehemently disagree. I cannot stand that show. It's so... Listen, it's not a bad show, but it's boring. It is boring. Nothing happens. It's so boring. I don't care about these characters.
Are you kidding me? A ton of stuff happens, and when you see all the crap that they're seeding in the movies that later showed up in the movies...
Bro, I'm like season 2, episode 13. It's just... No, episode
yeah,
14.
You're where it's starting to get good.
Who's the best superhero actor? It depends. There's a lot of them now. Oh, Charlie Cox, John Bernthal, Vincent D'Onofrio, and yes, the Netflix series are a running trend.
Terry Crews.
Shh, don't spoil it. Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. If I had to pick a personal favorite,
Chris Hemsworth's Thor is actually pretty good,
His Thor.
despite the movies being.
If I had to pick a personal favorite, oh my god. But to be honest, I'm gonna wait to see Civil War because I think Cap might become my number one. Because if it's anything like that scene we saw, where he was, going back and forth with Tony and Rhodey, yeah, he was deep into that, man. Safest answer with
The
him.
captain.
Yep. Will the Final Fantasy movie sell more than BvS? No. It'll be better probably. Did I finish Daredevil season 2? Nah, I got like 2 episodes left.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god! What the?
You still ain't watched them 2 episodes?
Nah, I haven't, cause y'all.
Nah, okay.
Right.
When you see that last episode, you're gonna see what we meant.
Like, here's the thing, cause Danny, and I hate that you do this. Like, Danny had watched all of it before us, and he was over here.
I spoiled nothing.
You didn't spoil anything, but you told us that the ending is very lackluster. That's as good as spoiling stuff, bro.
Hey! Rob had already seen it.
No, but that was before he'd seen it.
No, he saw it before I said that.
I finished it before all of y'all.
Oh, okay. But you knew I didn't watch it, and you over here saying ending's lackluster. What?
I didn't know you hadn't finished it. You had like 3 episodes left, and then I came in like 3 hours later,
and I hadn't finished it. If I say list Danny, I update play by play, and you over here, man.
Man, I don't. You know what?
All right,
here we go. Was enough to get you to stop watching. Then you were never a fan, sir.
I used your opinion to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Biggest mistake. That show was trash. All right, kill one, marry
half
one.
as trash as that Daredevil season 2 finale.
Oh, I can't speak on the finale, so. All right. Kill one, marry one, bang one. Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlett Johansson, Emily Van Camp.
I'm not going to answer that because I'm not allowed to answer this. So
yeah,
hey.
Danny's engaged, so he can't say stuff like this. All right, so that means me and Rob. Kill one, marry one, bang one.
Well, I know who Rob would kill. And he needs to let that go, but hey.
Nah. Not until after the movie.
All right, so if I had to kill one, being honest, I kill Emily Van Camp.
What?
I kill Emily Van Camp. I'd bang Scarlett Johansson, and I'd marry Elizabeth Olsen in that order.
You're an evil man.
How? Well, who would have you done? What? Hypothetically speaking, you weren't engaged. What would you have done?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really operate like that. I am like so fiercely monogamous that
but they're not saying you have to do it all in one order. You could kill her first, and then bang Scarlett Johansson.
Come on, man.
And then end up marrying Elizabeth Olsen 2 weeks later.
Oh, God. Honestly, I can tell you that if I had to put one of them in the kill slot, it would probably be ScarJo. That's all.
There you go with that bullshit.
What? I'm just saying.
I got you. All right, season 3 of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the best this year.
Hold up, I ain't even answered the question, man.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Go.
I would kill Emily Van Camp.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no question. I would marry Scarlett and bang Elizabeth Olsen.
There you go. You got all our answers. Here's one. Andrew Garfield could play a grumpy cat that sits around and eats lasagna all day. Why? Is Chris Hemsworth even human? That man is built as fuck. Yeah, he's actually human because we saw him before he was built. No, I was not in Until Dawn. Stop it, and I am not in the VR DLC, so stop. Favorite X-Men.
Is this for anyone specific?
Yeah, everybody.
I thought we go around the circle.
Okay, are we going by movies or comics?
Comics.
Okay, well, for me, it is... Nightcrawler is easily number one, like not even a contest. If I had to pick an order, probably Nightcrawler, Let's see here, Nightcrawler, Havoc, Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm.
Nice. How about you, Rob? Top 3.
Top 3.
Oh, top 3. I did 5.
Oh, or 5, 3, whatevs.
Is it 3 or is it 5?
You can do 5.
Do 5.
All right. So, Wolverine.
Of course.
That's no desperate dude.
Mm-hmm.
Beast. Nightcrawler. Cyclops. And Angel.
If I had to pick X-Men, for me, number 1, Cyclops. Number 2, Wolverine. Number 3, Nightcrawler. Number 4, I really like Jean Grey a lot. I know that a lot of people don't mention her, but I love Jean. She's cool. Number 5, Number 5. Oh, 'cause 2 people can take this spot. That's the problem. Number 5. I'm gonna go Rogue. Oh God, what are people doing now? Now they're getting into they took the kill, marry, bang, and they made it anger, fuck, marry out of pain, kill for joy. I ain't answering that.
Nah, guys, come
on. Why is The Walking Dead such a goddamn overrated TV show? Because people don't have good taste.
Because people won't read the comics.
That's a prime example of read the comics. Fing Fang Foom for Iron Man 4.
A lot of people actually want to see him. That's crazy.
To me, let's talk about Iron Man 4 for a little bit, because there's a possibility it might happen at some point.
Honestly, I think Fin Fang Foom would probably show up more likely in an Iron Fist series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's kind of doing the dragon thing.
Right. How do you think they're going to do him, though? That's the problem.
Well, you'd need a lot of CGI.
Because, I mean, I always looked at him and he just... I don't know.
Maybe they can have Benedict Cumberbatch come in and voice him.
There you go.
Boom has a lot of different adaptations. Some he wears pants. Some he's like a midget Shenron.
Remember that one time Spider-Man fought Fing Fang Foom?
He's fought him a few times.
No, the one time where like he tries to swallow him whole, and then Peter's like, "Fuck this!" and he just like opened up his mouth.
Oh yeah.
Best comic book TV show right now that's airing right now. There's really not too many good ones, unfortunately. Flash has been sucking.
Man, Flash is heartbreaking.
Yep, and y'all know how much Rob and I hyped that show up.
Oh man, weren't we going to talk about Iron Man 4 though?
Oh yeah, we were. My bad. But yeah, Iron Man 4 is a possibility now, and it might be coming out sooner than you think, because according to this, Robert Downey Jr. he does a movie by movie contract now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's no longer long term. So if anything, I think they'll try to get this out before the end of the decade.
Honestly, I could see it happening, and Jon Favreau has said that he's interested in coming back and working on Marvel movies. And if anyone's going to do Iron Man 4, I'd like it to be him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he started it. I'd like to see him finish it. You know, he did kind of put in the seeding things in there that set up the Mandarin and everything, and I'd like to see, especially since they went ahead and teased it with that short film, the actual Mandarin show up and kind of, you know, wreck stuff.
Do you think they'll actually do that, though? I mean, obviously Marvel's acknowledged that was a problem. But do you think they'll go all the way and actually give us Mandarin?
I think they will.
I'm not saying like in a sense that they can't do it, because, you know, it was a different story like 6 years ago if they would do Mandarin, but...
enough time has passed since Iron Man 3. By the time that comes out, I think they'll do it.
Okay.
I mean, he's been in other movies since then. It's not like this would be an immediate You know.
True. Is Iron Man 4 a necessity at this point? I would like it just because I want a good Iron Man movie, and I want the last film for RDJ to be something it sends him off on a high note, you know? I don't want him to...
If he's gonna leave us, yeah.
Because, I mean, he keeps saying he loves these movies, but, I mean, even he wants to move on, and I don't want them to take the cop-out route of, oh, let's just kill him in Infinity War, and that'll be the reasoning. I think he deserves a final movie, and I mean, if you were talking to me 3 years ago, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't want one because I think it's oversaturated. But when people realize that Iron Man is so saturated in these movies, he's really not. Like, it could have been a lot worse.
It's true. It's true.
I mean, like when people were saying that, oh, it's because he's in the Avengers movies and Ultron was based around him. I mean, realistically, we had problems with Age of Ultron, but the route that they went, considering they could not do Ultron because of Edgar Wright. I know, bro, but like I said, you know, it's... I think that he deserves a movie. That's it. When do I think it'll come out? Honestly, I don't think they're gonna rush it because their slate is already filled. I mean, they have 3 movies coming out next year. They have 3 movies coming out in 2018. They have 3 in 2019. Honestly, realistically, here's the thing. I'm gonna pick y'all's brain for a second. We do know that this whole contract between Sony and Marvel, it's hell bent on Marvel, I believe, making movies with Spider-Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, they're gonna have to rush out I don't even want to say rush out at this point, but they'll have to put out another Spider-Man film by 2019. So,
well, by 2020. So yeah, 2019 would be realistically the last year.
Yeah, I don't think Iron Man 4 would be out until like 2020. Even then, do you think RDJ won't want to be around for it, or?
I think he will. I think he'll be willing to come back for one last hurrah.
Yeah, he says Civil War in his way is Iron Man 4, but then again, he's open for Iron Man 4, so you can't. He's all over the place.
I remember they had that theory, not a theory, but it was a rumor saying that how there was going to be a Captain America Civil War and then an Iron Man Civil War.
Oh, like half and half movies.
Yeah.
Remember when there was that rumor that BvS was going to be split up? It would be Batman versus Superman, and then like Dawn of Justice later.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid.
They could have got everything they needed out then for having a 4-hour movie.
Well, there's a 4-hour movie that exists. So yeah. How about that Supergirl though? Oh, Rob, you want to take this because you're the only one who's been watching this.
That's all I'll say about this show. I mean, they had an opportunity to do their thing with Supergirl, but how you gonna make a show about an upstanding female superhero, but you literally taking all the Superman stories and gender bending, almost all the villains and gender bending them. She has her own bizarre role and all this, and plus she's so reliant. She's reliant on her cousin Superman, but yet he barely shows up. And when he does show up, it's this kind of crazy, stupid camera angle thing they do where you can't see his face, he can't speak, but they can insinuate that he's there.
It's funny, man.
Long story short, that show is not savable.
You know, I don't understand why they do that. It's like, you're clearly not tied in with the movie roast here. So what's it matter if he doesn't look like Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Exactly. It didn't need
You can at least show his face.
For real, it's just...
And not them boots dangling out the end of a stretcher.
Oh, I think it's so funny how they... every time they want to tease him, they always get him knocked out. It's like, damn, Soups.
Yeah, man. He flew into the city, and you get all hyped thinking he's going to fly in and save the day, and he flies in and falls out the sky because he got brainwashed, dude.
For real, dude. Someone said I'd rather chop my dick off than watch Supergirl.
Superman is Supergirl's Lois Lane.
Stop it. Danny, you will take that. Bro, I don't even think this show pleases the feminist viewers that much. I mean, I know Tumblr is probably having a field day with it, but
Tumblr is actually surprisingly lukewarm to it.
Oh, wow.
Despite the pandering.
That's the thing. That's the thing I was about to say. Like, a lot of my friends who are, they were excited about it. They're so happy that because, like, when people heard they're doing Supergirl and Jessica Jones, a lot of my female friends were like, yes, I love this. And they saw Jessica Jones and they're like, awesome. And they saw Supergirl and it's like, what is this? Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, what they did to Jimmy Olsen is just criminal. They took Jimmy Olsen, turned him into this generic black Abercrombie model who's there to get Supergirl wet.
James Olsen.
James
who may
Olsen.
very well be tall in the Superman.
Yeah. Mads Mikkelsen is already playing a character in Doctor Strange, but do you think he can still play Doom in a Fantastic Four Marvel movie? No, I don't think they're going to really recycle actors. They spread the love around. I wouldn't mind seeing Bryan Cranston in this universe, though. I think everyone can admit to that.
So, how do y'all think Cranston would do his Doom?
Hey, here's a question for the chat. Who do y'all think should play Eddie Brock? And why?
I don't. Eddie Brock in a Marvel movie or Eddie Brock in the Sony Venom movie?
Eddie Brock in a Marvel movie, and I'm very interested to see what these guys have to say.
What are your gripes with The Flash Season 2? To be honest, Aaron, you know this more than anybody. The drop from the break up until now has been bad. It's nothing but slow pacing. They're not doing much, and they're using bullshit stories they've done before. Like, why does Flash need to lose his powers again? Like, is he going to do this every season?
A Powerless Barry episode every season. And they got to keep finding ways to get his speed back. Yep.
It's ridiculous, man. I'm tired of it. I don't like the handling of how they've been showing us Zoom and his actual identity. I think it could have been handled a lot better. Right now, it's just confusing for everybody. Yeah. Wow. That's hilarious.
All right, so wait, Crispin Freeman as
Eddie Brock.
That,
He's getting kind of old though.
Right.
Well, he's also not exactly
Big dude. He's tall though. Do y'all even think a Venom movie that isn't part of the MCU is a good idea? What are they going to try to do? They're going to do a Venom versus Carnage film? Oh, God.
They're going to try and do that, and either way it's going to be bad because if it ever gets time for MCU Spidey to use the symbiote, they'll have to kill that series. Or if that series is good, MCU Spidey could never use the symbiote.
I don't see the point. I mean, them trying to do a Venom origin story, like, no, save that shit for Netflix, fam.
Yo, it's gonna end up being like it's gonna end up being like that Catwoman movie.
Oh my God!
Seriously,
it's gonna star Michael B. Jordan.
It's gonna be a Venom movie with no Spider-Man.
That's ridiculous. Like,
oh no, it's gonna have Spider-Man. It just won't be the MCU Spider-Man.
That's ridiculous. So we're gonna have to hire a different Spider-Man, or we're just gonna have some random guy swinging and call him Spider-Man.
We're gonna have to hire a different Spider.
They're gonna play. They're gonna do the Supergirl thing. It's gonna be angles, far
feet. Oh, maybe this is gonna be the Venom that was. Remember with Amazing Spider-Man 2, there was all those rumors that with that close-up shot of Spidey's face, there was something swinging in the back. A lot of people thought that was Venom.
Oh my God! It was literally a reflection of something flying by. It was like a bird.
It was funny, man.
Oh, I know, and everything that Mark Webb tweeted out though was somehow a new villain.
Yo, I love how he caught in on the fun, and he's like, thinking about new villains, and everyone's like, oh my god. I think
And
Rob said it best, though. They could drop Jelly on the floor, and they'll be like, well, Carnage confirmed.
I'm telling you, it was some red jelly on the floor like Carnage.
Yeah.
No, just to clear something up. The Venom movie Sony's talking about making will not be the MCU Spider-Man because it will not tie in with the MCU at all, and it will also not tie in with the Amazing Spider-Man films.
It's so stupid to do that. Like, what's the point?
Now, well, you know, I'm kind of glad that Abby's trying to do this simply because hear me out, because number one, it'll never get off the ground. It won't happen. But number two, so long as he's sitting there holding on to it, nobody in the MCU can sit there and have this half-cocked idea to rush to the Venom symbiote.
I don't think they want to do that. I think the last thing they want to do with Spider-Man is rush.
You'd be surprised because a lot of people want them to literally run right to it.
Well,
like Homecoming, they actually want Homecoming to be about the symbiote.
But again, the people who want that aren't running the studios. This ain't DC.
But you know, Rothman's involved.
Yeah, that guy.
Now, I'd like to think that he won't be interfering anymore because he got a double kick in the nuts from both the other superhero movies failing at box, but then Deadpool, which he kept blocking because he insisted it would never sell, doing as well as it did.
Bro, it's just like he's to blame for a lot of things. So the fact that he's over there as Sony, no. Mm-mm.
Well, right now he's on the financial end of things. He's good, and that's kind of why they hired him, because financially they kind of need a better balance. But
keep him away creatively.
Yeah, so long as he doesn't go trying to stick his fingers in any of the projects, everything should work out.
Some people were thinking, why not Adam Driver as Eddie Brock?
Who?
Adam Driver?
Oh, God.
Kylo Ren?
Oh, him. Yeah, no.
Let me see. I missed that part.
I'm interested, though. I mean, the thing about Eddie Brock is I think how few people get him.
Aaron Paul is Eddie Brock. Oh, God.
Like a lot of people genuinely think that the Spider-Man 3 depiction of Eddie Brock was not far off, except he was too scrawny. Like, no.
Let me see. Do you guys want a Black/Venom Spider-Man again? Not now. Maybe eventually.
I don't know. I mean, the other thing that it's a pet peeve of mine, but for some reason, whenever he gets that symbiote, they always got to make it out like he got a super strength boost and everything. That's like, nah, man. The whole reason that the symbiote was able to give any kind of strength boost to Eddie Brock was because it siphoned off from Spider-Man and copied his power. So why they couldn't nullify his spider sense.
What are your views on the way the X-Men are being treated in Marvel Comics?
It's unfortunate.
Would you guys want a Catwoman sequel movie? Oh, God. I want to start seeing great superhero video games. I do too. If there's any truth to those reports we've been seeing, we might get one from Sucker Punch. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I think the Amazing Spider-Man movies will end up being forgotten a decade from now. Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I like the movies, but I'm a Spider-Man fan first and foremost, and the fact that they're still making them, and they're tying over with Cap and Iron Man and all those guys, that's what matters in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, someone said someone get Jason Momoa away from DC and cast him as Eddie Brock. You know, I actually was in favor of that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was before they cast him.
Yeah, I said that literally 2 days before they cast him as Aquaman. My luck.
It's like, bah! Who would Michael B. Jordan play in the MCU? Probably some charismatic character named Michael B. Jordan, because that's what he plays in every movie. probably the son of ooh. I mean, there are people who are thinking he should play Black Panther, and I'm like, nah, fam. You know what's actually surprising? Speaking of Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, yo, that dude, he looks like 15. Him and Paul Rudd have the same thing. They both look 15 years younger than they actually are. Paul Rudd is almost 50. Oh my god.
Man.
Would you guys want a Kick-Ass 3? Nah, I was kind of burnt out from the second one. No, Michael B. Jordan.
Funnily enough, Kick-Ass is written by the same man who thought Civil War was a good idea.
Yeah. A Michael B. Jordan Static Shock movie would work well. No, he's far too old.
Nah.
If you're going to do Static Shock, do him as a teenager. I think that'd be really interesting. What did you guys think about the music as a whole in Batman vs Superman? Outside one track, I think it was pretty forgettable for a Hans Zimmer score.
Which is sad, really.
Yeah.
His heart just was not in this one.
And he said he's going to stop after it, so that thing killed him. Are you going to E3 this year? No. I'm probably going to go next year. How do you guys like how Civil War is portraying Spider-Man's super strength? It's refreshing for me. From what I've seen, it's very good. It keeps him in character, and one of my fears is quelled. They didn't try to make him the sidekick in the sense that he's not as strong as the other guys. He can dish some shit out. I mean, he gave new definition to on your left, to say the least. Do you guys think Tom Holland will be the face of Spider-Man now instead of the first actor? Well, if he stays for more than 2 movies, yeah.
I honestly can't understand why people think Maguire is the face of Spider-Man.
I hate that image that goes around. Oh, kids today won't ever realize that this was the real Spider-Man. And I'm like, oh boy.
That was not Spider-Man in any sense of the word. Just.
Someone get J.K. Simmons away from the DC universe so he can play J. Jonah Jameson. Well, I don't know if there's something in their contracts that prohibits them from doing that. I know a lot of people like. Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow, I thought it was just the tinfoil hat conspiracy theories.
No, for a while at least, yeah, they got away.
Because what's his name? The guy who's playing Killer Croc in Suicide Squad. I think he was in some of the Marvel movies or one of them. But then again, that was probably years ago. So, Liam Hemsworth as Eddie. Oh God, Thor's brother as Eddie. He kind of looks like it.
This is not terrible.
But he looks a little too young. I mean, I know he himself isn't necessarily too young, but
yeah.
By the time it's appropriate to bring in Eddie Brock, he might look the part. So.
Mm-hmm. If you could choose any obscure character to get a film in the MCU, who would you choose? Ooh, any character?
Define obscure.
Yeah. Like, what's obscure? I mean, because they're A-lister characters who don't have movies. I mean, I don't know.
I know who I'd pick.
Howard the Duck.
Oh, Howard. It'd be nice to see him get a good movie.
Kyle Massey as Galactus. Oh, my God. I would die.
The problem with him getting a full movie is that the Howard the Duck source material really isn't the best place for a film, especially in the MCU. I could see a short for him
though. How do you feel about the other people in the Spider family? Spider-Woman.
Wait, we never did pick an obscure character to get a movie though, did we, Rob? Is Rob still here?
I don't know.
Rob, you there?
Yeah, I'm still.
Okay, if you had to pick an obscure Marvel character to get an MCU movie, who would you pick?
I don't know about I don't know about movie, but I'm definitely like to see Moon Knight get something.
Maybe Netflix. That's what I was thinking. Probably Daredevil season 3. Crossover.
Moon Knight would be cool, but personally, I want to see the Prowler.
I was gonna say that, but I don't know if he's got enough material to like carry an entire movie.
He actually does. He had his own like mini series even.
No, he did, but I was thinking maybe something in the second Spider-Man movie, possibly be a nice parallel. You know,
Eh,
good way to introduce the obligatory black sidekick because everyone has it.
eh, I don't know. I think he could carry some.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Toby was a good Peter Parker, though, right, guys? No.
No, Toby was not. No, Toby was George McFly. That's who Toby was. Like for real.
Honest props. Give credit where credit's due. Toby is good as crying as a little bitch. He cried every movie.
He did like multiple times every movie nonstop.
Depressed. Do you think they'll do Silk in future Spider-Man films?
I mean, just sitting in his bed, staring forward in a near catatonic state. You know, am I not supposed to have what I want? Yeah, that's Peter Parker.
Totally.
Right down to having visions of Uncle Ben and telling him to take a hike.
Cloak and Dagger's coming to Freeform. Yeah, too bad Freeform is a crappy channel. Yeah.
I'm willing to give the show a shot.
I don't know, man. Marvel, if it ain't Netflix, their shit sucks on TV.
If you say so.
Meek Mill is Eddie Brock. Hey! Bob Saget is Eddie Brock. I've heard it all. Oh my god, it's amazing. Toby had that Michael Jordan crying face every movie.
It really did.
Oh god,
He really had it when Uncle Ben died. He had like the exact replica of the face.
seriously, man. Oh my god, he did. The Raimi Spider-Man movies had some bizarre Superman elements. Yeah, see, and not to discredit the Raimi movies, but again,
He name dropped them there.
yo, but again, going back to whole BvS, you know, how Superman has influenced so many people. It's influenced directors that they copied that damn scene. They even had Spider-Man running. This is one of the worst scenes ever. I forgot which one it was.
In the first movie, he's running through the crowd and actually ripping his shirt open to reveal the emblem.
Like, are you dead ass?
They actually name dropped Superman. You know, it's like you're not Superman. You know.
I love the Doctor Strange reference. That was pretty cool. How do you feel about Aunt May being bangable? God. I don't know. Ask the internet.
Well, I mean,
My boy said
when you ask the internet, according to the internet, based on the art that comes up when you just Google Aunt May, they thought that for quite a while now. So
I'm curious. I'm gonna do that.
no, don't.
I'm gonna do it. You just type in Aunt May on Google, right?
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Let me see. Aunt May. I would share screen with y'all, but I don't know what I might see.
Some stuff comes up that ain't kosher.
All right, so let's see. Wikipedia pages, the actresses. I see Aunt May and some old dude, and they're like naked, but this looks like a comic panel. So I'm like,
It's from Deadpool. Apparently.
Oh God, Aunt May shocked face. Oh, this is amazing.
Aunt May had that rape face that one time. That panel was terrifying.
Dude, this stuff looks. I don't know why I liked her design in the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, you would like the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon.
I said the design. I'm looking at, there's some funny captions from the first Raimi movie. Aunt May wearing the suit. There's really nothing bad here, bro. Oh,
How
God.
the hell do I get unlucky enough to get all the crap?
I'm seeing a lot of Aunt May rape faces, though, so there's that.
Alright, I got a question. I got a question for the chat. They had to choose.
Oh no!
We're talking
MJ.
about today's standard between Aunt May and Rita Repulsa. Who would it be?
Oh
Dude.
my god, that's
Dude,
wrong.
that's a legitimate good question.
That's wrong.
It's not wrong.
Just hearing it though, you know, it's like
Exactly.
Bro,
why
but Marissa Tomei, she
would
bad,
this
though.
even be a thing?
Bro, so far so good, but she got that Benjamin Button effect going on. Let's see. Neo is ballsy. Don't do it. No, Neo, don't do it. I saw nothing, guys, so I'm good. It's time to stop. Yeah, the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon has good character designs, but that show is still crap.
That's about as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did you see that there was actually an issue of Marvel What If where Aunt May got the power cosmic and fought Galactus?
Oh my god. Would you rather work for Marvel or DC Comics? Neither.
Neither.
IDW.
There you go. Third choice. I don't. Someone says I choose Marvel because at least they have Star Wars. Well, Star Wars is run by the story group, so that's different.
Yeah, Marvel themselves say don't get to do anything but put their label on it and publish it.
Someone just said you have to type in Aunt May MILF. I'm gonna do that.
No, don't. Chris,
I'm
stop.
curious. Like, I haven't seen anything bad. Aunt May MILF. Marissa Tomei. All I'm seeing is a lot of good images of Marissa Tomei, and that's fine. I ain't seen Aunt May rape face. There you go.
That panel is horrifying. Like,
Marissa Tomei, some black chick.
how'd that get in there?
I don't know. There's nothing bad here. Oh God. Oh God, I think I found the bad part.
You do have safe search.
No, I
off,
don't.
right?
It's not on. But I think I found the bad part.
Uh-oh.
I found shirtless Toby when he first woke up after he got his powers.
Oh no.
And that stupid ass expression he had of looking in the mirror.
Oh, the dirt face.
Because you know, all radioactive spider bites give you abs. Yeah. But so far, so good. I saw a lot of good photos of Marissa Tomei, though. I'm going to save a couple of these for later.
Yeah, keep in mind that's Aunt May now.
Problem?
I'm just saying, technically speaking, you found it.
I'm fine with that, though. I mean, you know what I'm saying, though? I mean, Sally Field, back in the day, she was a looker, too.
You just made it weird.
No, I didn't, sir.
Yes,
you made it weird by not thinking about it. I'm going to give you the Jamie answer.
Why?
Why do we keep killing Uncle Ben? Because Uncle Ben has to die, and he has to stay dead.
Uncle Ben has to die for Peter's sins. It's in the Bible.
Yeah, it's the Spider Bible. Everybody's got to follow
The same reason Wayne's have to die, man. Lesson need to be learned.
What would you guys like to see happens if Uncle Ben's alive? No.
No.
I don't even want to say shoot him again, because no, he can't come back to life. He has to stay dead. Gwen Stacy should have stayed dead.
Gwen Stacy was a mistake.
It's gotten to that point, yeah. I want to see how my nigga shot a hoop in the basketball game. Kim Kardashian is Aunt May. Oh God, she'd be fake as fuck. How's she gonna give Peter advice? Sean Bean is Uncle Ben in the MCU. Stop it.
That is literally the only scenario where I'd be okay with Ben not dying just for the sake of meta.
Marvel wants us to fuck Aunt May. That's so crazy.
No, I think they're just kind of factoring in the fact that she's actually older than she looks, and Peter is only 15.
She does look young, though.
Yeah, she looks younger than she is, but she's...
Are there any X-Men movies you guys actually like at least a little? Yes, I'm going to be the divisive one. I enjoyed a lot of things in First Class, mainly stuff with Michael Fassbender.
How could they do that to happen?
I didn't like anything with the X-Men characters in that movie, but Michael Fassbender in that film was so goat. James McAvoy was good too. I liked parts of Days of Future Past. The entire premise as a whole was stupid as all hell. It still doesn't make sense at the end of the movie. I enjoyed the second X-Men movie. First one was okay, but like I said, we expected better. I liked the Wolverine, but again, looking at these X-Men movies, you kind of have to look at them with disappointment goggles on. Like, yeah, this is bad, but some things are good. Because
I will say I loved Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler in X2. He was like friggin' spot on.
I actually really liked. No, go ahead, Rob.
I tolerate 1 and 2. There's like moments I cherish. There's still like and there's still an atmosphere in the first movie. It still feels very X-Men. It's just, I don't know. It was just lacking something. There's like little scenes that catch you, and you be like, "Yeah, it's the X-Men right now."
Anything with Magneto more than anything.
I liked seeing Cyclops and Wolverine interact in the first movie.
I also liked Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
That was actually pretty spot on. Kelsey Grammer as Beast was one of the only good things about X3.
Yo, when Beast was being a diplomat that whole movie, but it was time to get gritty, he was all.
I hate the guy that got playing Young Beast right now.
Oh, Werewolf Beast.
Yep. Do I think Fox is gonna keep pumping out Deadpool movies? I mean, if they're making money, I mean the only reason they greenlit the second one is because they'd be stupid not to. That is not a Fox production. That is the work of all the people who did the movie.
This is where the pressure comes in. The first one, that was a gimme. The pressure comes in. Until now, you're going to have cable.
Mm-hmm.
How you going to play all that off?
To be honest, like, I enjoy Deadpool. I think it's good, but they can't do the same stuff in the second movie. They gotta actually do it right. Because all that humor and stuff was hell-bent on the fact that, hey, we've never seen a character do this thing before. So I just hope they explore. Like I said, for what they work with, like, the movie for me, it's an 8. But as a regular film goer, like, if I had to see this again and again, it'd probably be like a 6. It's still my favorite version of Deadpool, though. Less over the top than he is in the comics,
Not constantly crapping his pants.
Yeah, not wanting to bone male characters.
According to them, that's going to change in the sequel.
Oh, God. Because isn't he like pansexual now?
Yeah, that's what they decided.
Yeah.
Because apparently, having him dress up in like a dress and a wig to get close enough to assassinate someone is him being into cross-dressing and everything, too.
Yeah. They actually gave the X-Men color in Apocalypse. I'm so happy. Well, it took you 16 years to get color. Wow. At the rate Singer was going to put color in these costumes, we were going like from the dawn of time to now. Oh wow, we've been going for like a while. Yo, y'all want to wrap this up?
Yeah, man, I'm starting to wind down.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed this bonus episode of the NXP podcast, the post roast of Batman v Superman. Like always, I want to thank my stalwart companions, Danny D's World and Rots112, for joining me on this journey. If you guys want to check them out, their channels are going to be down below in the video description once this thing gets fully processed. And yeah, any final thoughts, guys? You want to pimp your channels out, talk all about the videos you're going to be doing soon?
The only thing I'll say is I will see you guys after we've all seen Civil War, and be ready to lose your mind, because I know we will.
I might have something out between then and now. That's all I'll say.
Awesome. Well, thank you for everybody who came to the stream, everyone who's been commenting. We have a lot of new viewers. We have a lot of folks who've been here since the beginning. So that's pretty friggin' sweet. Hope y'all have a very good night, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. And, oh, thank you. Have a good night, sexy man, especially you, Danny. Oh, my. All right. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Good night.